And we are live. We are live. Welcome back to the channel. It is Chosen Wisdom Football, a channel for the football purists, for the critical thinkers, for the Manchester United fans who like to think about things, for all the football fans really around the world who like to use their noggin. Welcome to the chat, people. I hope everyone's having a beautiful day. It is Friday, guys. It is Friday, which means this is your match preview for the Sunderland versus Manchester United match at 3 p.m. It is what some are calling a must-win game. Every game right now for Ruben Amorim is a must-win game, and this game, the pressure is on. We will, as well as go through, of course, the match preview, or should I say the press conference. Amorim has done his press conference, and there are a lot of quotes coming out of that press conference that I am sure you guys are going to want to find out, want to talk about, discuss. There are a lot of things that jump out at me personally that I know if you're Amorim out, you're not going to be too happy with what you heard in that press conference. So in today's show, we'll go through the manager's pre-match press conference. There are quotes that we need to discuss from it. We'll go through Ruben Amorim's program notes. There are one or two things he said in his program notes that I'm sure you guys are going to find interesting. Also, Fabrizio Romano has come out today and he has reiterated that there is no plan directly to replace Amorim after the Sunderland game. That is the message. The message is win or lose, he's not getting sacked against Sunderland. That is the message. Also, not just from Fabrizio Romano, but also from Laurie Whitwell. So the journalists in general, guys, are putting it out there that the manager isn't going anywhere. And even if he loses against Sunderland, he isn't going anywhere. So that's a general message. Also, Brian Mbeumo has come out and spoken about the consistency. And if you guys are interested to find out, Lemens has been included for the first time in the Belgium squad. So yes, our goalkeeper that we bought, that we haven't seen yet, that we've been told is ready, but we still haven't seen yet, he is now included in the Belgium squad. And of course, we will end today's show talking about the Sunderland game, talking about the team, talking about the lineup, our expectations of the game, what we think is going to happen and maybe not happen, so on and so forth. So big up the chat as usual. It's probably going to be a quite quick show today. I'm trying to not make it an hour for you guys. I'm trying to be concise as I can. So big up TK in the chat, and Turkish. Little stragglers. There's some stragglers today. Today's Friday. So I'm expecting more people to be jumping in. So big up everybody, man. Big up everybody. Let's get into it, man. Let's get straight into it. TK, man, I hope you're doing well, bro. I hope you do well, my bro. So yeah, let's get into it, man. Amorim's press conference. Listen, if you have not listened to the press conference and are just hearing these quotes from me directly, now I might be doing it a disservice. You might actually want to go and actually watch his press conference because it is very, very interesting. Listen, the amount of denial within Ruben Amorim right now, it's like we're in Egypt. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I have chosen some quotes that I find very, very interesting, peculiar, embarrassing, foolish maybe, truthful, honest, I don't know, whatever word you want to use, you can use it. Amorim has said this, and this is regarding, because the context is never really there in these quotes about what question has been asked. It's just the response that you have here. But this is regarding questions about the system. The system that we as a fan base have been questioning because we don't see it working, right? We've lost and drawn many more games than we have won. And while we all admit that it's not just the system, yes, it is also the players, but this response from the manager is very, very, very interesting. If we lost against Arsenal because of the system, it's your job to make the opinions. Talking to the journalists here. When you look at the game against City, was the first thing that you think when the game starts is the system? Now let's pause there. 1 second, guys. What if the answer to that question was yes? What is the answer to the question? Yeah, the first thing I did see or think about was the system and the fact that it doesn't work. Then the rest of the whole sentence doesn't make sense. But anyway, we go on. So when you look at the game against City, what's the first thing that you think when the game starts is the system? I think you don't think about the system in that moment. Very, very interesting. He's clearly in this sentence saying or starting to move away from the system being an issue. And my, I guess, problem is that you say you're not going to change, and you've been saying you're not going to change. But then at the same time, we heard last week that the system will evolve and you will change. While at the same time saying the system is not the problem. So if the system isn't a problem, then you'll never change it, right? And you'll keep doing it forever. If it's never the problem, why ever change the system? It's managers in this position will always look after themselves, right? Then he needs to protect himself. He needs to protect his image. He needs to make it look like he's not the problem. It's nothing to do with what he's doing, which means the problem is the players. And if that's a message you're putting out there every week, that what you're doing is perfect, there's nothing to change about what you're doing, then the conclusion therefore is the players, and it's just the players. And if you are a player and you hear this, you hear that the manager doesn't want to change, and then you're saying the system is perfect, essentially, because the problem is not the system, even though we've only won 24% of our games. What's a natural or logical conclusion? You're going to point at the players. Let's read on. I don't know why this hasn't changed into let's read on twice now. He goes on to say, the way we concede goals, create chances, that is nothing to do with the system. That is my opinion. So it's interesting. So is he on one hand saying his system is irrelevant? Because he said positives and negatives here. He said the way that we concede goals, which is a negative, and the way that we create chances, which is a positive, is nothing to do with how we play, how we set up, and the tactics. It's got nothing to do with any of that. This is the biggest gaslight, I've ever seen. He's saying that everything we see on the field has got nothing to do with his approach and his system. But then he goes on to say this, people. I'm not saying this team will do better in a different system. That's not my point. My point is, if I look at the games we didn't win, which is the majority of the games, right? The majority of the games we don't win. The most important thing when I watch the game is not we lost because of the system. That is my opinion. Then people have different opinions, and that's okay. So he's basically saying that if we lose the games and the games that we've lost, I think he's alluding to fine margins here, right? He's alluding to maybe player mistakes, maybe individual errors, TK. I don't know what you're thinking about this. But this whole thing is contradictory in nature. From the first sentence to the last sentence, he's not setting out or putting out a consistent message here. It's all over the place, in my opinion. And it's a lot about feelings and opinions and this and that. The facts are the facts. We lose more time than we win. We only win 24% of the time with this system. But the system's not a problem. In your opinion, Ruben. All right, let's read on. So that's another quote, people. So let me know. Let me know, because the whole Arsenal thing is very interesting, because he's used Arsenal a few times in press conferences. The game against Arsenal, you guys didn't say it was a system, but we lost against Arsenal. It's not as if we won against Arsenal. We lost against Arsenal. Arsenal had one attack, they scored one goal, and they sat back for the whole game, and we did nothing. And he holds that game up as an example of his system working. The interesting thing is, because I thought we will have more quotes on that, he also says something about the system working and how the system, you don't mention the system not working when we win. And I'm like, hold on a second. We lose most of the time, so we're going to mention the losses. We're not going to be giving you toxic positivity. You lose or draw the majority of the time. If something, right, and this question I have for you guys, if something works 24% of the time, so because we've only won 24% of our games, right? If your washing machine, if your Hoover, if anything that you have in your possession works only 24% of the time, it means it doesn't work. Please understand that. Don't get bamboozled by this manager. He's trying to convince you that winning 24% of your matches means the system works. It doesn't. The anomaly is not the fact. Yeah, it isn't. It isn't, guys. So very pick up TK in the chat. TK, big yourself up, my bro. Now is the first sign of guilt. I saw that. If he feels the same garbage 11 every match, his system is irrelevant. His system has become a syndrome, says TK. Oh, I'm gonna have to take that, TK. The System of a Down, my favorite band. You guys are funny. Hey, so I don't know, guys. I feel like, please go and watch an interview. If you're bored, go and watch an interview. But I felt like the whole interview was a lesson of how to gaslight your audience, the fan base, how to prime your fan base, how to cultivate. Is it cultivate? Cultivate might not be the right word, but you know what I'm saying. He's trying to morph us. He's trying to build us. He's trying to get us to buy into what he's saying. I just can't do it, guys. I can't buy into what this guy's trying to tell me. But let's move on. Big up Eddie in the chat. I think now people are familiar to his games. Yeah, we have to be. They call him Eddie. They call him the poet for a reason. He is not me. Listen, I'm way too autistic, yeah, to play his games. I can see through this crap. I'm very, very rigid in a lot of ways, yeah. And this is one of the ways I am, because I can see this shit, this kind of gentle nudge, this gentle manipulation. I can see it very, very easily. But we can move on. He goes on to talk about Ahmad and Casemiro, and I've always spoken about how important Ahmad is. Even when he hasn't been playing well this season, I haven't given up on him. I'm not going to throw Ahmad under the bus. I'm just going to encourage him to improve, right? Slight nudges to improve his game. So he's spoken about Ahmad and Casemiro, and he said that they are really important. Casemiro gives us a lot of experience. That is good. Ahmad, we missed Ahmad in the last game. When we want to push some opponents, he's one extra guy where he's very good in 1 against 1. So we are really happy to have him. There's a few people, and we spoke about Ahmad maybe last week, and I know a few people thought Ahmad wasn't playing well, and I think, was it Shivam and a few other people, maybe it was just Shivam, wanted Ahmad sold, and I said, whoa. Crazy. We're not selling Ahmad. Like, I feel like just because Ahmad hasn't been playing well the last 3 or 4 games, and nobody has been playing well, we've forgotten how good this guy can be when he is up and running, when he is firing. So I'm glad we have Ahmad back for this game. I'm pretty sure the chat, Eddie, TK, you guys, I'm pretty sure you guys are happy to have him back. I don't want to see Dallo at right wing back. I really don't. Even when Ahmad's playing badly, I still don't want to see Dallo. Because Ahmad has shown, just like Bruno and a few others, that even when he's playing badly, he can produce a moment of magic for us. So he's kept on the pitch even when he's having a bad game. And I get that. I understand that. So I like the fact he's addressed that Ahmad's back. He's always spoken positively about Ahmad. Always said how much he loves him. His versatility is important to the manager. Very important. So I'm happy we have Ahmad back. TK said the chat shivved Ahmad. That's a good one. The chat shivved Ahmad. I like that. It's good. Well done, TK. Even on the right side of the bench, I don't want to see Dallo. Even on the right side of the bench, I don't want to see Dallo. All right, so the manager was also asked about Wayne Rooney's comments. Wayne Rooney, as you guys know, we've spoken about it this week. He's come out and he's weighed in and laid in to Manchester United, saying he doesn't recognise the club anymore. It's not Manchester United. He's a lot of negative things, which, I mean, right now we're in a bad place. So I think a lot of what he said was warranted, if anything. But Ruben has responded by saying, listen, criticism is normal. You cannot run away from the results. And then you have the baggage from last season. It's interesting he called last season baggage. I mean, last season happened. It was a season of football and you finished 15th. So is Ruben Amorim, treating this season as something brand new? Is he, guys? It seems like he is. Anyway, he goes on to say, last season doesn't matter. We've had 6 games this season and lost 3. When he said it, if you're Ruben Amorim and you're sitting there in a press conference and you say out loud, we played 6 games and lost 3 of them, how does it sit with you? Like, I don't know, guys. And then he goes, it's your job to make the opinions. So I don't know what he's trying to do here. Is he trying to do a siege? I said maybe do a siege mentality thing. Maybe do the media versus Manchester United and get all the fans behind him. Get, the players behind him. Listen, you guys can have your opinions and all of these things. You guys can keep attacking us. Maybe that's what he's trying to create here. But I don't know if it's going to work with you guys. I don't know, guys. I don't know. But that was that. I thought it was very interesting. So he's spoken about the Sunderland game in general, how Sunderland play, what he's expecting from the game. And the manager, your manager, not mine, I'm not joking, our manager has said it's going to be a really tough match. They're doing really well. So he's acknowledged how well Sunderland are doing. It's a team that plays really well with a clear system. 4-3-3 with a lot of rotations on the side of the pitch. It's interesting how he's talking about another man's system and he's saying how it's a clear system. I'm not gonna lie, this winds me up. It winds me up, man. I'm like, oh, this guy. Anyway, they will be confident and know we are under pressure. We need to be prepared for that. It will be a tough match. Listen. Yes, Sherlock, it will be a tough match. And listen, I can see us losing against Sunderland, guys. I can see us losing. I can see us losing this match. This guy, the way he's speaking, it does not fill me with any confidence at all. I don't know. Eddie, Mount might start, Oh no, imagine Mount starting people. Oh, don't put that in the ether. So, yeah, Ruben Amorim's press conference, if I can give my full opinion on it, because I watched it all, not just, these quotes, actually watch and listen to it. Guys, he's under pressure. You can tell he's stressed. You can tell he's under pressure. I don't think he was the most coherent. If he thought he was putting out a consistent message from the press conference, it wasn't a consistent message, in my opinion. A lot of it was waffle. And some of it, if I'm being honest, some of it was gaslighty. It was not, I can't say he was gaslighting us, but if some of it felt gaslightish. So let's no, scroll down. Let's read. Let's see what people are saying. He said clear system for Sunderland and mentioned a formation 4-3-3. It's clear this man thinks formation is the same as a system. It's not the same. It's not the same. The formation, Crystal Palace played a similar formation, but their system is completely different. Now Man United have to be prepared for a newly promoted Sunderland team because they play with 4-3-3 rotational system. This is madness. He's getting us scared. He said, like, a team like Sunderland who just gets promoted, guys, we should just go there and not even have to worry about their system. But the fact that anyway, guys, I feel like if I start, I'm not going to stop. So let's stay on topic, because my head's starting to get hot. I'm like, no. Let me not bite the bullet, whatever the phrase is. All right, guys. Let me quickly see what the chat is saying. Big up Eddie, man. Big up TK. I always like Ahmad. We're not getting the best out of him this season. No, not so far. But I think it's to do with Mbeumo. Mbeumo holds the width. Mbeumo and Ahmad play the same way. Mbeumo is not an inside 10. Mbeumo is a right-sided forward who likes to drift inside. He starts wide and he drifts inside. Mbeumo plays the similar way to Ahmad. He does. Not enough people are talking about it. I mentioned it before. I said, if they click Ahmad and Mbeumo, it's going to be crazy down the right. But if they don't click, it might look smelly. At the moment, it's too soon, guys. These are players that actually need time to play with each other. The issue that we have is that we're only playing once a week and we expected more at this stage. That's the issue. I think if Mbeumo plays more centrally, like an inside 10, and gives Ahmad the width, cool. That's fine. But they occupy the same spaces a lot, and it's not good, people. But knowing Amorim, he won't start. Eddie, I hope he starts. I've got him in my team. I know that he likes Dalot, but I'm hoping Ruben likes Ahmad. I'm hoping Ruben plays Ahmad instead of Dalot. He might play Dalot on the left and play Ahmad on the right. But I think Ahmad surely goes straight into this team, guys. Let me know what you think. But I assume Ahmad goes into the team. We're not playing Arsenal here. We don't need to play with defensive wing backs. We're playing Sunderland, a newly promoted side. So I'm just praying that he plays an attacking fullback. Eddie says he will start Mount. I bet you £1,000. Oh no, Eddie, you're making my also act up. Oh dear. I don't think he starts Mount, people. I don't think he starts Mount. But listen. We've seen the manager do the maddest things and start players that we did not even expect to even be on the bench. So it is what it is. Eddie says, I feel sorry for Xerxes. We are wasting the lad. Yes, Eddie. Seeing what happened to Xerxes is insane. It's insane. Like, I wouldn't mind Xerxes starting this game. Like, you know, when the season started, or before the season started, if you had told me that against newly promoted teams like Sunderland, we couldn't start a Xerxes and we couldn't start Kobe. If you told me that we still had to play our strongest team against the likes of Sunderland and we couldn't like give Xerxes a run out or give Kobe, and you can argue Kobe should be in our strongest team anyway. You could argue that Xerxes should be in our strong. Xerxes right now is ahead of, in my opinion, is ahead of Sesko. Football-wise, he is. So it's strange what's happening to Xerxes. I've said that Xerxes he can't stay here. He cannot stay here, Xerxes. He's such a good footballer that's been wasted. He has to leave. If he wants to get into that Netherlands squad for the World Cup, he has to push for a move in January. TK says, Wiz, I'll go into every match with we're losing mentality. I base this on how many goals I see us scoring. It's always one or none. I love TK. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm gonna adopt something similar, TK. Be a bit more pessimistic. Be a bit more level-headed. There's hope, and then there's facts. The facts are we're crap. So I need to match my hope with the facts. You know. Eddie says this guy don't know what he's doing. Simple as we are so predictable. Is it true he said he will adapt his tactics? Eddie, for 95% of the time he talks about his tactics, his formation, his system. He says he's never going to change. But then there was one interview he did. It might be the Owen Hargreaves interview where he said the system will change, things will adapt. It always does. So he kind of alluded that he will change. So once again, conflicting messages from the gaffer. Every manager changes. You think Man City haven't changed over the last 3 years with Pep? You have to keep evolving because the league has changed. The league has changed from last season. So if you do not want to change, you do not want to adapt, you're going to die. The world changes. The world moves. If you do not change with the world and get used to the changes that are happening, you will not survive. It's just normal. One of the things, you get asked in an interview by the people interviewing you, by your manager or whoever, is your flexibility, your adaptability. They ask you, are you flexible? Are you adaptable? Give me a situation, these competency-based questions where you've had to adapt. Give me an situation where you've had to be flexible. That's one of the most important things in any organization. But yet this manager says, I'm not that. I'm not flexible or adapt. What the hell are we doing? See, I don't want to get... Okay, let's focus, people. This is Ruben Amorim's quotes in the match program, which none of us will get unless you go to the stadium and watch the game. But he said that we have seen the right attitude and dedication from the players at Carrington throughout the week. We must now take that intensity to Old Trafford and play to our full potential. I'm not quite sure what to say about that. But I don't know. There's nothing really to add to that. There's not... What he said there is not contentious, really. He's just saying, you look good in training, now just win the game. So I've got nothing really to say. I'm not quite sure why this is important, to be fair. But why did the producer give me this quote? Let me see what you guys are saying. Or was it a lie by the media? No, Eddie, he said it in Owen Hargreaves interview. TK says, new book by Amorim, The Syndrome of Systems Without Systems, forward by Eric Ten Hag. Sometimes, guys, I feel like some of these new managers are making this whole thing about themselves. Like, the football match and the game was always about the players. It was never really about the managers. It only became about the managers if you were there for like 10, 15 years and you had a legacy. Then it was Fergie or Wenger. But it was always about the team. It was always about the players. And these managers are acting like they're doing something new. Like these formations and these systems didn't exist 10 or 20 years ago. They're putting themselves there and they feel like they're doing something so revolutionary. You're not. You're not. The players are more important than you. They always will be, always are. These kinky managers, some of them are not serious. TK says, I always bet against United. I usually make money. When United win, I lose money a bit, but I feel great. It's a win. Yeah, man. TK's got the psychology on look, This is how TK survives. He's got his ways. He's got his methods. I appreciate it, bro. I dig it. I like it still. All right, let's go. Fabrizio Romano. So Fabrizio Romano has spoken about Amorim and him leaving. Listen, this is his thing. He himself has contradicted himself with his tweets, with the messages that he's putting out there. But Let's read what this guy has to say, because everything he says is absorbed by the whole fan base and taken as facts. So sometimes it's good just to know what the other fans are thinking, what the fan base is thinking, what the fan base is absorbing. So he's going on to say this: Man United haven't prepared anything in case they lose against lose against Sunderland. Man United don't have an agreement with another coach. Man United haven't officially contacted any other managers. That could be true. That actually could be true, but it doesn't mean they don't have a list. It doesn't mean that as soon as the loss happens, they're not going to be, yo, Glasner, hi there. It's Jim. Yeah. Man United, yeah, it's me. Hello? I'm joking. Imagine. But yeah, it can be as quick. I mean, how long did it take us to get Amorim when we fired Ten Hag? It could be a couple of weeks, maybe a month. Who knows? I think the process wasn't as long as it should have been. Or maybe it was. I can't even remember how long the process was when we got rid of Ten Hag and hired Amorim. I can't remember. Man United are not in direct conversation with Gareth Southgate, despite reports. Southgate has an excellent relationship with INEOS, but it doesn't mean that the deal is already agreed or advanced. The manager situation is still the same at United. Focus on the games, support Ruben Amorim, and try to get results, because otherwise the situation can't be safe. But at the moment, Man United haven't prepared something so that tomorrow can already happen. Essentially, he's saying they haven't prepared something so that they can fire this manager and hire next one the next day. Nothing can happen like that because they haven't prepared for that. They haven't prepared to fire Amorim on a Monday and hire Glasner on a Tuesday. They're not there. But there is a list, and they are having conversations. 100%. They have to. If you're a serious football club, you have to be having this conversation now. Right? Surely. So, and the whole focus on the games makes me feel like, okay, are we just completely doing result-based analysis here? So we're not going to just assess him in totality. We're going to be like, if he wins the next game, he's safe. If he wins the next game, he's safe. So it's, what are we doing here? Isn't there someone, because the whole point of having football people now in charge is for those footballing people to make these decisions, not like fans do, not be erratic like fans, but to look at the whole picture, the whole year, and say, or assess whether it's working or not. Not, it hasn't worked, but let's wait until we see the next game. And then we win the next game. And then okay, cool, let's keep him. Then we lose the next game, okay. Then we win the next game, oh, let's keep him. That is not a sustainable way of evaluating performance. It isn't. It can't just be data. And yes, results are the most important. I'm not trying to gaslight you guys to think results aren't the most important. Of course they are. But it can't just be result-based analysis at this point, given the sample size that we have with this manager. So let me know. Let me know what you think about what this guy is saying. Is Fabrizio Romano waffling right here? Is he chatting, people? Eddie says, I forgot about Chido. He should have went on loan. Eddie, I'm going to give my quick opinion on Chido. He's not making it at Manchester United Football Club. Let's be real. And we need to get back to the whole, listen, only 1% of young players are supposed to make it. To make it at Man United, you need to be the best. You need to be Mason Greenwood level. The level of talent here that I need to see breaking into the first team is the Kobe Mainu, Mason Greenwood, even Gomez, them little Gomez that we sold that under Ollie. Those sort of talents there, yeah. Ravel Morrison's, JJ Gabriel's, yeah. I've got time for that. But Chido, from what I've seen of Chido, listen, I can't write him off. He can still come good, actually. But from what I've seen, I don't know if he's gonna. Let's leave it as that. I'm not gonna say he's not gonna make it. Let me scrap that. I don't know. I'm not gonna say it with my chest, but I don't know if he's going to make it at Manchester United. That's all I'm gonna say. Hi everyone in the chat. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. Big up Alfred Gideon in the chat all day, every day. Romano is redundant without the transfer window. Big up, Eddie. Listen, Eddie, I agree. But at least you guys know what this guy's talking about. Laurie Whitwell. I don't know if you guys like Laurie, if you guys care about what he says, but you know, enough people do. He has spoken and he said, from speaking to people, even if United lose to Sunderland, I don't think it would make the end for Ruben Amorim. Speaking with people this week, getting the same information that's already been reported, Jim's ultimate decision maker on this. He'd take recommendations from Omar Barada and Jason Wilcox and the Glazers. They all have an opinion. Radcliffe is the one who'll decide, and I'm told he wants to give Amorim the full season. Listen, that is on INEOS. Wanting to give someone the full season is something. Him actually getting the full season will depend on results. So it goes on to say it's a new squad to a degree. Yeah, it is. You know, the midfield is still the same, but it's the coach trying to get his methods across even more so. We can debate if that's the right choice or not, but that's the current messaging from the very top with Sir Jim Radcliffe. So, once again, another journalist, people, like it or not, both him and Fabrizio, two top journalists. You can't really get more than Laurie and Fabrizio in the journalistic space, really. And they've both been fed this information, and they're both saying from Jim that Amorim will be given the full season. Now, obviously, guys, we have to use our brains here, and of course, there's a caveat. If Amorim is in 17th or 18th position, I don't know, by December, then he's going to get fired. So you wanting to give him, I mean, that should be a thing. I think the fact that Jim wants to give him the full season, that's cool. I think that's fair. But that's all that's been said here. I want to give you the full season. But if you fuck up, you're out of here. So this doesn't really tell us anything, if I'm being honest. Anything new, in my opinion. You guys, once again, might disagree. And if you do, I'm always willing to hear. But still very interesting. The message that's been put out is that Amorim is fully backed. We don't want the players to feel, I mean, no club comes out, and we know this, no club has ever come out and said, if our manager loses the next game, he's fired. I've never heard this. Nuno got fired. Loads of managers get fired, and we've never heard the club say or come out with statements saying, yes, the manager is under pressure. Yes, if the manager loses the next game, he will get fired. Yes, we do have a short list. We've never heard this. So everything that all these things that we've been hearing about, we don't have a short list, he won't get fired. These are things that we've heard before. We've heard before Jose got fired, we heard this. Before Oli got fired, we heard this. Before Ten Hag got fired, we heard this. So the truth, where's the truth, people? Where is it? What line is the truth standing on? What lines is the truth standing between? Alfred says, I cannot comprehend the Ten Hag situation. What went wrong? I mean, the game versus Spurs was the best I've ever watched. Full control, 90 minutes. Apparently, he overachieved with a mediocre squad, says Alfred. TK says, all I ask is that Cat Pillow and United Pillow swap spots just for the Saturday match. Please, listen. I will do that, TK. For you, my guy. Saturday, tomorrow, yeah, these two pillows will swap positions and put United at the back. And if we win and win convincingly, TK, I might permanently keep it there. How about that? Is that a deal? I don't have much going on. Listen, it's okay, TK. Neither of us have much going on. But this is what we have going on. This chat, this community, yeah? Breathe life into Man United fans. Eddie says, I'm going to remember that you said he's not making it. You said with chest. Hey, all right. Laurie's on the payroll, 100%. I'm not going to lie, Eddie, bro. The reason why I stopped myself from saying full-heartedly that he's not going to make it, yeah, is because he's, what, 18 years old, yeah? And I saw Mason Greenwood at 16. And Mason Greenwood at 16 is light years ahead of an 18-year-old Kobe. Kobe, yeah? Kobe? I keep saying Cheeto, sorry. Right? Light years ahead. And when I watch Cheeto play, especially in men's football, even at 17, 18, he's nowhere near ready. That's why I'm saying, do you know what? Send him out on loan. However, I will say this. Not all young players, yeah, have the same trajectory. Some players, they just get better very quickly and then, you know, fizzle out. Some players, they improve slowly and then they get better. So every player has a different sort of trajectory. And the reason why I stopped myself from saying he's never going to make it is because there is something there in Cheeto. He does have talent, bro. He does have talent. I just don't think it's enough for him to be a first team striker at Manchester United who want to win the Premier League in 2 or 3 years' time. That's my caveat. But yeah, and also because he's young, yeah, I'm not willing to just say it in my chest. I had to fall back, bro. I had to be like, hold on a second. You know what? I do have the opinion that he's not good enough, but he's young, and I need to see more of him. Do you know what? Let me fall back. I might eat my words. I might eat my words in about 3 years' time. So, reduce the midfield number to 2 equals new squad, says Alfred. Yeah. I mean, at the same time, Alfred, it is kind of, it's not a new squad. It is a new squad, but it has some of the familiar faces. It's a 60% new squad with like 40% of the old faces. So I guess you're right. It's not a new squad in its entirety, but point made. Amorim has been sweet talking Sir Jim. Eddie, you can see, yeah, how Amorim and the way he speaks, you can see how he could easily, especially with all this data stuff and blaming all the, it's not my system, it's not me, I'm not the problem. You can see how he can easily convince certain people who, like Jim, who don't understand football. Jim, do you think Jim understands football? Jim is not a football guy, bro. This man is a businessman. Ruby has of Jim on his iPhone, just like Shaw has of the Glazers. It must be TK. That's the only explanation I have as well. We have Cheeto and Churro. So who else do we need then? We got Cheeto, we got Churro. What else can we have? We need another player with yeah, we need another player, guys. We need another what is that? We need another you know. All right, cool. Let's move on quickly. Fabrizio Romano on Xavi still being available. He's waiting on the Xavi situation. He said, Man United guys, Xavi will not go to Al Ittihad. They had conversations with Xavi, but who won the race is Sergio Conceição. Cool. So Xavi is not going to Saudi, essentially, is what Fabrizio is saying. And he's essentially in this quote reiterated that Xavi is waiting for the Premier League. Guys, has the Premier League, or is the Premier League already a kind of super league with all the money in it and capital is held in certain places? So is it already that in a way? And is it me, guys, or some of the best managers in the world now want to come and manage in the Premier League? Before, they didn't really want to. Before, it was Spain and Italy and all these other places. But now, a lot of managers want to come to the Premier League. Very, very interesting. Would you take Xavi, guys? That's a question I think. Have I asked the chat? Have I asked you guys this question before? Let me know. If not, why? Is it lack of experience in the Premier League? Is it the type of football he wants to play? Might not be viable with the players that we have. Why not Xavi? What's your beef, people, with Xavi, if any? Because once again, Fabrizio was talking about how man's studying the Premier League and all these things. It seems as if Xavi is twerking for a job in the Premier League. So let me know what you think about that, if anything. Let's move on, people. Um, mm, ah. TK says no Xavi, not Prem proven. Simple as that. We want Prem proven managers. I agree with TK. I think TK agrees with me with regards to a manager that knows this league is what I want. Alfred said Joe had. You're silly, Alfred. TK says Ruby's wife came out and commented on how he can't sleep due to stress. Yeah, we spoke about that, TK. Why is Amorim and the United PR team allowing this info out there? Real Housewives of United crap. Yeah, I did think about that. I always like to think about the purpose of a tweet. Why does this tweet exist? What message are they trying to put out there? Who sanctioned the tweet? What is a rhetoric? What narrative are they trying to create? Because in this country, maybe around the world, but I can only talk for this country and in the Premier League and the media in this country, we like a story. We like a narrative. We like a story to be told. We like a rags to riches or riches to rags. We like building up a player to only pull them down because that's the story that's to be told. We do it because we want the story. The media does it because the media wants a story. The media's job is to create narratives, build stories, and tell stories to us through their medium. That is their only job. Once people understand that, their eyes will be open and maybe certain things will change. But here is the Sunderland manager on Ahmad. And don't forget, guys, apparently, according to Sunderland fans, Amad Diallo is their greatest player ever. What he did for Sunderland while he was there was, I think he got 20 GA in the championship. And I watched some of those games. I saw him. He was amazing for Sunderland. Amazing. So the manager has come out and spoken about Ahmad. Many people still speak about his time here. He possesses great talent. He will always be a friend of the club, just not for 90 minutes on Saturday. Love that. I love that. That's football. Listen, he will always be a friend of the club. When he comes back here, they will sit. That's why you have to play Ahmad. You have to play Ahmad against Sunderland. Whenever, listen, I'm an advocate here of playing a player against their old team. For Brian Mbeumo, it didn't work out, right? It didn't work out for him last game. But you have to, because they've got a point to prove. They're going to play differently. Play Ahmad, start Ahmad against Sunderland. I like this tweet. It's so appreciative, but just real. Listen, he'll always be a friend of the club. But for 90 minutes on Saturday, he's the op. Good, that's true. That's right. You know what I'm saying? I've got time for that. I've got time for that. So, it is what it is, people. It is what it is. Alfred says, Jace, will, obrigado, my job is safe. But, people say, listen, Alfred, Bruno Fernandes, brother. Alfred, the question I have to ask you, bro, is, are your eyes now looking at INEOS differently? Because I don't even know what your opinion of INEOS was before. How are you now thinking about the likes of Wilcox? I like Wilcox. I've sang Wilcox praises to you guys, but now I'm thinking, hold on a second, is Wilcox now advocating to keep the manager? Then I got to start looking at Wilcox differently. I got to be like, is this guy all right? I don't know. Eddie says, can you believe Luke, Shaw, Maguire and Dalot have been the consistent problems since Ollie days? You're right, Eddie. When you think about it like that, bro, it's crazy. For all our biggest losses and embarrassing defeats, and apparently we have been spending all this money on defence. The thing is, Eddie, when you look at it like that, it's insane how some people have survived, how other players have been chased out the club for being injured, like Martial and Shaw and some players haven't been chased at the club. Why don't we not have the same energy for other players? It's so interesting. I think if the fan base dislike the players that you've mentioned as much as they should, or want to get them out as much as they should, they might have gone already. But the match day going fans up in Manchester, which sometimes I have a lot of beef with, they're just different up there. They're different. Not all of them. I don't want to alienate all the Man United match day going fans. Please, guys, just some of them. And all this money on it. Listen, the fact of the matter is, Eddie, how many left wing backs and left centre backs have we bought and then sold? Shaw's outlived everybody, from Alex Telles to Brandon Williams, we didn't buy him, to Reguilon, to Malacia. Everything. He's outlived them. We bought them all within space of 6 years, and we've sold them all, and Luke Shaw's still here. We've got Heaven, right, who can play in that position. He's playing ahead of him. And we've got Martinez, who's injured. So, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Eddie says, and they still get in and play ahead of the new ones. Yeah. TK says, I'll be okay with Xavi as a manager if we were coming off a season where we win the last 3 seasons. If we were a dominant team, then yes. That's what I was thinking, TK. I think Xavi, with what I know and how I know Xavi wants to play, we ain't ready. For what Xavi wants to, I think what Xavi might want to do, we will need 11 new players. And I can't do that anymore. I'm not. We don't do that. We need to understand that some players we can't sell because of the stupid contracts. Hence why INEOS are trying to get everybody on some sensible contracts now. Yeah, and that includes players like Luke Shaw. That's another reason why they're still here. Arthur says, what if Ahmad becomes a friend of that club by unsilencing his haters? Hope he doesn't drop a stinker. Me too, because Ahmad will be, it smells like Ahmad is going to be the new scapegoat for the Man United fans, unfortunately. And I'm just going to try my best with my little channel, with my little community that I have, to push against that bullshit. But yeah, what can I do? With it, just a small community here, 500 subscribers. What can we do? Why is Harry getting a lot of stick? I'm just like Ahmad. Why is Harry getting a lot of stick right now? Just like Ahmad, is Carlos Fernandez the set piece coach responsible for players' position? I mean, who kept Maguire as a last man instead of being in the box? I thought Maguire. I thought a lot of people have stopped giving Maguire stick these days. I feel like Maguire is gone under the radar in terms of getting stick. But if he's getting stick online, is he getting stick online for his defensive performances or something? Alfred, let me know. Anyway, Brian Mbeumo. What's Brian Mbeumo said? He said that I think, you know, that's been, I'm too Portuguese there. I think, because that's Jose, right? Jose says I think. Anyway, I think with and without the ball, at some points in the games, we drop the consistency. In some games, we have had really good spells. We need to keep working and get some details. So the manager has alluded to this in his press conferences about consistency, and it looks like Brian Mbeumo is also alluding to this. How much is it down to the lack of consistency, lack of aggression from the players who raise their game against the Arsenals, as TK would say, and then lower their games against Brentford? The players, as I've said many times, yes, we are talking a lot about the manager. However, I don't think you guys lack the understanding that it's also the players. Of course it is. Some of these players are not good enough. And I think you guys know this, and I know this. Just because we haven't really been labouring that point, it doesn't mean we don't know the players are not good enough. Right? So it is what it is. Look at Pep. He never took over a team that wasn't already a dominant team. I like to see how Pep would do with a team like Foxes or Wolves. TK, that is an ongoing discussion that a lot of people have. Pep is a manager that has to manage or can only manage with world-class players, players that play a certain way. He's not a manager that necessarily improves players who could get a lower team and get them to mid-table, for instance. And that is why some people say, some people say Pep's the greatest. Some people say no, he's nowhere near the greatest because he can't do it with a mediocre team. He just can't do it. So I understand that discussion. I understand the argument. And I think in other shows, we can chop it up and have that. Listen, I'm ready to have that Pep conversation. I'm ready to have the Pep conversation. Trust me. Maguire is straight garbage. He has been shielded by how bad the squad is and how bad the system is. That's TK. Maguire is not good enough. I mean, that's not what he said. He said he's straight garbage, but I paraphrase and say he's not good enough. And he's been shielded by how bad the squad is. If the squad was much better, then would he be playing? We've fallen so bad that someone like Maguire looks decent. Don't forget, we are 15th place team. And that is Maguire's level. So that's why he looks okay. If we're winning games, if we're top 4, would we be starting Maguire? The fact that we're 15th, maybe we're 15th because we start Maguire. I don't know, guys. I'm just putting it out there. Anyway, on your screen, it says Aiden Heaven has started 3 matches for Manchester United last season. Just some Aiden Heaven prop, 4-1 against Sociedad, 3-0 over Leicester, and 2-0 over Aston Villa. Is it time, guys? Is it time for Aiden Heaven to return to the starting lineup? Why did we see Aiden Heaven very, very quickly when we signed him? And now that he's got more experience, now that he's supposed to be better, we're seeing less of him. Is it time, people, for Aiden Heaven to come back in the starting lineup? Is it time for the manager to play more athletic players at the back, like Aiden, like Lenny Euro, who can run back, so we don't have to play the Maguires, we don't have to play the slow players who don't have any athletic ability, who can't run like Shaw? Is it time for us to actually play the Euros, the Heavens, the guys with the braids, the guys with hair like me, yeah, the Dorgus, the Amads? Is it? And I know Mbeumo's bald. Mbeumo's bald. We need flipping something like, we need flipping Bruno to have. We need to braid Bruno's hair. We need to get Dillit to grow an afro and braid his hair too. But yeah, is it time, guys? Is it time for Heaven to get back into the squad? Let me know what you're thinking about that. Like I said before in the lead up, our goalkeeper, Lemens, who hasn't played a game for Manchester United, is in the Belgium squad. I don't know where to go with this one. I don't know how to talk about this story. I don't know if I should talk about it. I don't know if I should just make the point and just move on. But he is in the Belgium squad and he hasn't played a game for Manchester United. Very, very interesting. Very strange, I think. Because you know how some squads are like, if you're not playing, then you don't get into the squad. Belgium don't care. Belgium don't care. So it is what it is. I'm surprised that younger players still sign for United. We have dinosaurs on our first team squad that will still be here after the next meteor wipes our life on Earth. Says TK. All right. So let's look at the team. I think 12. We've done an hour. We're reaching towards the end of the show. Let's look at the team. Let me know your score predictions, people. Let me know your score predictions. Let me. Yeah. All right. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's look at Sunderland's. Let's look at Sunderlizzle. If you can make me smaller. I wish I was a little bit smaller. No, but let me. Either way, this is. I thought let's look at Sunderland's first 5 fixtures in the Premier League. Let's see what these guys are doing. So they beat West Ham opening game of the season 3-0. very comprehensive win. I think a lot of people are like, whoa, like Sunderland beating West Ham, they might stay up. And then they lost to Burnley, which is cool because Burnley are another promoted team and they're away from home. Then they beat Brentford 2-1 at home. The same Brentford team that we lost 3-0 to very, very comfortably. They've drawn with Crystal Palace away from home, and Palace are a good team. So for them to draw against Palace away from home, they had to play well. And I saw that game. That was a decent game. They had a man sent off against Aston Villa at home, but they didn't lose. And their last game, they beat Nottingham Forest away from home. So, what makes us think that we're going to beat this team? What makes us think we're going to beat this team? I'm not going to lie, guys. I think we might lose against Sunderland. The question I ask the chat is this. And this is not like any other chat. I'm not going to judge you and call you you're a fake fan and all these things. You guys know me by now. Yeah, the world is complex. It's not black and white. The question I'm going to ask the chat is this. Would you, if you were told categorically that the manager will get sacked if he loses against Sunderland, he will 100%, and you were told this and that was a fact, would you want to lose against Sunderland? There's some fans who says, I never want Man United to lose. But then again, we've lost like 60% of our games already. So what's one more loss? I don't know. What does that mean? These guys here will watch a manager put out teams and systems to make us lose over and over again, while at the same time say, if you want us to lose against Sunderland, you're not a Man United fan. Well, then the manager's not a Man United fan. We lose all the time. What are we doing here? So, question is this, and this ain't no other chat where I'm gonna call you a fake fan because you want us to lose. It's not that. I understand why you'd want us to lose. If you were told that the manager will leave after the loss, would you want Man United to lose against Sunderland to get the manager out? That's a question I have. Let me know. Let me know. But Sunderland are not a joke. They're not a joke. And that is, I think, for me, the team, I don't really do the team that I want. Because this fantasy thing is annoying. Like, let me put the team that I want and blah, blah, blah. It's not going to happen. So these days, I just put the team that I think the manager will play. I believe in the team that you guys can see. The only contentious part of that team is whether he goes back and starts Maguire again, which I'm praying he doesn't do. Stop it now. You played him one time in one game because of Chelsea or whatever. It doesn't mean you got to do it again in every game. And he might, I think he will start Ahmad. Surely he will start Ahmad, but he might start Dalot. I think if he starts Dalot, guys, he might start Dalot for Dorgu and put Dalot on the left. I feel like Casemiro didn't play in the last game because he was suspended and we missed Casemiro. As much as we need to get over Casemiro and go beyond him and move on from him, he's better than Ugarte every day of the week. So it will be criminal if we don't start Casemiro against Sunderland, in my opinion. And the front three, I think, takes care of itself. I think that's going to be the manager's front three. He's going to try it again in this game. So that is how I see us lining up against Sunderland. We're going to have to be so good against Sunderland. We're playing away from home. I'd say Sunderland ground, which is very hostile. Just like Brentford, Sunderland don't have time. So Sunderland play very, very direct as well. And if we can't handle the directness of Brentford, Lord knows what's going to happen against Sunderland away from home. So I'm saying, people, what am I saying now? What am I saying, people? I'm saying I'm saying I'll go with TK. I'll go with TK in the chat. I'm saying 2-1 Sunderland. We might get a goal back. I think Sunderland will go 2-0 up. And I think we might get a goal back. But Bruno doesn't want to score penalties. So even if you get a penalty, Bruno will probably miss it. He's on job. He knows his assignment to get the manager out. So yeah, I'm gonna go with TK. I say 2-1. TK says 2-1. Let me know, people, what you think the score will be. Let me know how you think the game will pan out. Is this team the team you think the manager will pick? Let me know, guys. We will be going live at 2:30 p.m. UK time for the match. We're here now, guys. We are here. Can you imagine that when we started this, we will be 5-6 games in talking about Amorim needs to go? How optimistic some of us were at the start of the season, and how that optimism has been crushed, absolutely crushed, guys, by everything that has taken place so far. Listen, I hope somehow this manager can turn it around. I still hope he does. It's not personal. It never will be personal. It's football. But I don't know, people. Big up Ranjit. Ranjit says AI predicts 60% United win. Most likely score 1-0. The thing is, like TK says in the chat, yeah, we don't score more than 1 or 2 goals a game. Maybe 1 goal a game. We don't score more than 1. So, yeah, guys. I could see 2-1 Sunderland. Maybe even 3-2. I could see that. Let me know if you agree with that team. We're going to have to relook and revisit the prediction. You know, when we did our season predictions and we predicted who was going to be champions, who was going to finish 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. We had Man United at 6th. We had, well, I had Chelsea. We did this together, but I said that I had 51% voting rights. So yes, I listened to the input from you guys. We kind of did it together, right? As a community. But yeah, I had 51% voting rights. I don't know about Chelsea finishing 2nd. I really don't know about Chelsea finishing 2nd. And I really don't know about Man United finishing ahead of Newcastle in 6th. So, as I said before, when we made this, we're going to take a screenshot, which we have done. And we're going to have to revisit this and have a conversation about the season. Maybe, is it too soon? It might be too soon to do it. But maybe, where are we? We're in September. No, we're in October now. Wow. Flipping next. September went like a flipping ice cold breeze. And that breeze that hits you, that slap. That cold breeze that just... September was quick. So I say maybe November-ish. We'll look at this again and we just have fun and we just make our next predictions. But this prediction right now looks a bit... I put Brentford to be relegated. And Brentford are having a decent season. So, yeah. Yeah. Very, very interesting. So, big up the chat. Tomorrow, Sunderland. Listen, I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm going to watch the game. And I'm not going to watch the game with loads of emotion. I'm going to try my best to keep a level head. And if we concede a goal, I'm not going to overreact when we concede a goal. And when we score, I'm not going to overreact either. I'm going to try because it's just long. It's just, I can't keep doing this. This is some bullshit. So, big up the chat. Big up the chat. Like I said, we're going to have to revisit this. That is also, we'll go back to the team sheet. That is a team sheet that I think, or at least close to it, I think Casemiro comes back. Surely Casemiro comes back for Ugarte after his suspension. Surely, guys, surely Ahmad starts after coming back from bereavement. Surely. So let me know how you feel. Like I said, 2-1 Sunderland win I'm going with. We're going to lose. This is the thing, guys. This is the thing. We've said, yeah, that we will judge Amorim when we face the mid-table and the lower table teams. We've already lost against Brentford, lost against Grimsby, drew against Fulham, and we all feel like we're going to lose, at least I do, against Sunderland. Ranjit, come on. Ranjit, your optimism, I need it, bro. I need it. Right now, I'm very negative. So whatever you're smoking, give it to me. Let me get high. Man. Anyway, guys, big up the chat. 2:30. We're back here for the watch along. Have a good Friday, man. Enjoy your Friday. Don't think about Man United too tough. And I will see you guys all tomorrow. Big up the chat. Big up the community. Love. Yeah. Big up yourselves, guys.